Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I'm here just to create a Halloween shaker card. I just wanted to, did you ever go into your craft space and just say, you know what, I don't want to think. I just want to create. So that's kind of what I did here. So, of course, I was at my local craft store because that's what I do. And I found not the paper pad. Now, the paper pad I've had for a while by Recollections, but I found that die. It was the only thing left practically for Halloween, and I just fell in love with it. But dug around, I did. I actually just dug around in my craft area, found that paper pad because I totally forgot I had it, and I just, when I got to that piece of paper with the flowers, I just fell in love with it. So I'm going to take the middle die from the bat, and I'm going to cut that section out of my pattern paper. Now, what's great with that die is you've got the positive and you've got the negative. So both pieces are going to be used. So we're going to make 2 cards. I like it when you can create multiple cards at once. It's an awesome process. So now that I have that cut out, I'm going to set that aside. And then I have the other piece of paper that I've pulled from that paper pad. And again, if I can find it, I will link to it. But a lot of times, I can't. The paper pads that I usually get are from Michael's Arts and Crafts. So if you have one near you, that's where you'd find it. But I think I got that a couple years ago. So I'm going to grab a piece of acetate. I'm going to cut it down using my Fun Stampers shears. I'm going to use my art glitter glue to go around the image, and then I will set my acetate in place. Once that's set, then I will remove the tissue paper. The acetate that I like to use the most, because it's got the tissue paper, is the Judgement pack. I think there's 20 or 25 sheets in there. But I really like the fact that they put a piece of tissue paper because I'll just get everything on it. It's just one of my things where it drives me crazy if I have a fingerprint on the acetate. Yeah, I know. I mean, let it go, right? Let it go. I know, you're all saying that. So I've got my double-sided foam tape. I've doubled it up, and now I'm just going to cut it down, lay it down onto the back to create that raised area so that I can put my shaker items within the acetate area. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all of the, I get carried away with all of the amount of double-sided foam tape I put. I do like to have an even layer, but it gets crazy. So in one of my previous videos, I did another Halloween card, and all of the glitter that I used, my chunky glitter, just clung to the acetate sheet. So I got lots of suggestions. Thank you. And I'm going to try every one of them. So here I'm trying my anti-static tool, but all of that powder was driving me crazy. I didn't want that to show on the acetate. So, of course, I'm wiping some of it away. For this color here, it's from Arteza, and it's called Fairy Dust. There's a periwinkle blue and a purple in there, and it's a 2-pack, so it also has Moonstone, which was the one that I had used prior. So I'm just putting a small amount in there, and I'm going to add my Nouveau Prickly Pear sequins and my Nouveau, believe it or not, that is blue periwinkle. I know they look purple, but it's an awesome looking purple. My colors are purple and lime green for Halloween with a black. It's kind of my go-to thing, if that makes sense. So I'm going to carefully remove the release paper. And I say carefully because this card, it'll jump. Yeah. Ask me how I know. It really will do that. So I'm going to put the pattern paper to the back, and you're going to be able to see those florals coming through. So I will say, by using the anti-static tool, it did control have a better control of the static cling when it came to the chunky glitter. There was still some there. It's probably because I wiped some of it away. So I'm going to keep on working because I got lots of ideas. And there were some of them that were awesome. So I'm going to try every one. So I adhered the back. I trimmed it. I've got it down onto my standard A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is going to be a top folding. I pulled a sentiment strip from the pattern paper pack. And I've cut that out, and I'm going to put that down along the angle of the bat, and I'm going to trim off the edge. I do like the font that they used for these sentiments because it's dripping. Yeah, I'm not a cutesy Halloween. I kind of like the eerie and the evil type stuff, but I don't like horror films. Yeah, it's funny. So I'm going to now use the cutout. So keep that in mind. If you have a die that's got a shape to it and you're using it for the front because you're making a shaker, take that cutout and you can automatically have another card within a small amount of time. These 2 cards took me under 20 minutes. For the second card, I'm adding some Twisted Citron with my makeup brush just to give a halo effect to the background. Because that bat is just so dark in nature, but it's got that purple and black and lavender going on, it'll help the bat to even stand out more. You could use any color that you're looking for. So I'm going to use my double-sided foam squares. I'm going to prop this up just over that area, but kind of on the same angle as the other one. So you're going to have 2 different looks by using one die. Now, of course, that die also had other layers as well. So, it all depends on, how far you want to go. But just using a shape die can give you multiple cards. So something to think about. It's another way to stretch out or help mass produce if that's what you're doing. I grabbed another piece of the pattern paper, which would be awesome on its own. Cut it to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Boom, got a card. But I really like the sentiment, so I just cut that off. Of course, I couldn't have the straight edge, so I've got to tear the paper because if you guys know me, you know I love to tear paper. It's very relaxing for me sometimes. I just added a little bit of the Twisted Citron to the top, and I'm going to glue that down along the base of the card. Again, this is a standard A2 size card base as well, and it is a top folding. I'm going to trim off the edges, and those scissors that I'm using are by Fun Stamper's Journey, and it is their Grand Shears. So here are our 2 cards. Using one die, get 2 completely different looks using 2 completely different techniques. Shaker, shading in the background. Let's call it that way. All right. So I do hope you enjoyed these. If I can find the die and the pattern paper that I used, I will link them down below. But I think it's best sometimes when we just dig into our stash and use up what we have. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those down below as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I want to thank you so much for stopping by and just taking a little bit of time to watch the video. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe. If you already subscribed, thank you, and I'm glad that you are here. Make sure you ring the bell so that you get notified on the next video coming up or has been released. I hope everyone's having a great day, but always remember what's most important. Always be creative.